Hello everyone, my name is Mark Colturi. Farhad asked me to prepare a short presentation for the class regarding program management career opportunities. Thank you, Farhad, for this opportunity to meet your students, who I expect are excited about new job prospects ahead. I met Farhad when he worked as the Chief Technology Officer for the U.S. courts. I was a leader in a large consulting business, and Farhad was one of my clients. I've been in the management and technology consulting business for nearly 35 years now. I grew up as an IT programmer and grew into program management and business development roles. The majority of my career, 25 years, was with a firm called Booz Allen Hamilton, based here in Northern Virginia. I'm now a Chief Operations Officer for a company called MBA Consulting Services. Your class and coursework were about program management, and my presentation is to offer insight from my career, perhaps some real-life examples of what is important to think about as you enter the job market, either as an intern or as a rising program manager. On page 1 of my presentation, I think Farhad will agree with me, the business of project management has changed and matured dramatically over the years. With big advances in technology and advances in training to develop skills, the availability of collaboration tools is enormous. And as you would expect, a project manager is a leader. And as a leader, you're accountable to stay current with technology and ensure your team is equipped with the right skills and the right tools to succeed. I hope many of you in the class see the list of tools and best practices in the middle of the page and that you're familiar with many of them. There are dozens, if not hundreds, of tools available to project managers, and some of the ones listed here are the most common. Believe it or not, Microsoft Project started over 30 years ago. That makes me feel old, and it is a very common standard across most industries. My bet is if you haven't used Microsoft Project, you will soon enough. Also, Microsoft Visio, Microsoft Teams, and Lync are on this list. Microsoft is the 800-pound gorilla in software. For industry best practices, hope you're familiar with the project lifecycle. And as program managers, you have to be very clear about project initiation, planning, execution, and closeout. Deadlines and milestones should always be clear. All of your resource assignments should be very explicit and should be obvious to everyone. Managing a project, you have to know everything, or at least know how to find answers and get decisions on everything. So PMs have a responsibility to understand requirements, manage risk, make assignments, track completions, constantly revisit the schedule, and ensure overall quality. It's a big job to be a PM, and I think Farhad would agree and maybe has shared with the class that many statistics state just 50% of the projects come in on time and on budget. It wasn't too long ago that certifications in project management, program management became a very hard requirement for many industries. The PMP, or the Program Management Professional, is a very common one. It's a certification issued by the Program Management Institute. Agile certifications are also very common. If you haven't been exposed to Agile methodology, I encourage you to get a book, take a class, and become an Agile practitioner. There's hundreds of certifications available. Again, all of these certifications are becoming a requirement for key people before you're authorized to begin work or be awarded a contract to start work. On page 2, I wanted to present some thoughts on entering the job market and ask you to think about your own skills. Yes, it's a difficult time to enter the job market. This pandemic has certainly impacted everyone for sure. The good news is hiring and great jobs are available. Given that there's now an administration change in the White House, you'll see a lot of turnover in leaders with federal agencies, and many new opportunities supporting U.S. government work will become available. I've lived here in Northern Virginia since 1987, In the nation's capital regions, local economy is done very well. One of the reasons is the U.S. government helps drive the need for jobs across the region. It's a great place to get started here, and you'll see there's millions of jobs across U.S. government and thousands of consulting firms. I thought I was only going to be here for 3 or 4 years back in the late 80s, and sure enough, I've grown some fairly deep roots after 30 years. Nonetheless, it's just a very good area for the job market as you enter your career. For interviews, I normally ask many questions. How many people in the class have jobs lined up? How many are actively interviewing? Where are you interviewing? What do you think is most important attribute that employers are looking for in candidates? What important questions should you ask an interviewer? There's books, there's websites, and there's plenty of tips you can get from many sources. I recommend that you prepare, and you prepare a lot. I have a habit, developed a habit early in my career of over-preparing. Be early, have your questions ready, confirm receipt of your resume and your recommendation letters, dress professionally, gather as much information on a company that you can, and even gather information about people who you're going to be interviewing with. There's a lot available on social media, and you can usually track down a great deal of information. Follow up with thank yous. I still interview many people today in my job, and I'm surprised at the number of people who are simply not prepared. Be prepared, and think of good examples to share your academic excellence. Share your experience of working within teams and team projects. Communicate well, and hopefully your communication skills and your professionalism would be obvious. Interviewers are most often looking for the soft skills, your ability to communicate well, and your ability to work within a team. They're not looking for a straight A perfect student. They simply want a good, strong personality match. On page 3, I list some items that I wish I would have known about and been more mindful of early on in my career. One thing I did get right is the foundational skills or fundamental skills. I was a programmer, a developer, so I grew up as a technical person following a technical career path. I'd gather requirements, code programs, automate processes, and in general, I grew to be a very skilled programmer. That foundation gave me credibility as an IT program manager. I knew exactly what my team of programmers and testers and business analysts, what they could and what they couldn't do. I still rely on that capability today. Networking is key to everyone's career growth. Find a way to identify strong relationships, strengthen those relationships, and use them as much as you can for your business. Training. I bet everyone in the class would like to be done with school and no more classes, but realize that your training will never end. There's always something new to learn, and it's better to acquire new skills and broaden your ability so that you can serve in multiple roles. The last item on the page is mentors. Mentors have had a huge impact for me, and perhaps it's the primary reason my career has accelerated so much. I still today meet with several mentors regularly. They help me see challenges differently. They help me be more creative. And they often open doors and introduce me to new business contacts. I hope this information is helpful. I hope everyone finds their dream job, or at least finds a job that they can build upon. In the meantime, stay safe, stay healthy, and happy holidays.